Good morning, good people. I know it's been a little bit since I've been on here. It's your man Cam. Just want to come on here and speak. Spread the good word. As we all know, we lost a good man in these past few days, which was ex-president Jimmy Carter, who was a native Georgian. But it's not really about that. It's about his character though. Jimmy Carter, and I didn't know him personally. I just seen all the things that he had done in his lifetime, in which, from what I saw, compared to any other president that this country has ever had, Jimmy Carter seemed to be, if not the only one, that was truly a genuine, a genuine good person. He did things for other countries that other presidents wouldn't even think about doing. He helped the black community here in Georgia and also across the entire globe. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't just in the United States that he did things for the black community. But speaking on Mr. Jimmy Carter, or ex-president Jimmy Carter, where I'm headed to, because God gives me insight. I don't want to call myself a prophet or saying that I'm prophesying or anything like that, but he gives me insight, y'all, in which Jimmy Carter passed away. And pretty soon we're going to be having a new president being inaugurated in the office, in which this president that's going in the office is the complete opposite of what Jimmy Carter was. In which, don't get me wrong, Jimmy Carter, he wasn't in the best of health conditions to even probably had gone to the inauguration. And if he was in good health to had gone, I don't think he would have had truly wanted to be there. In which God called him home so that he don't have to see this guy that's going in the office here pretty soon. And I know I get backlash sometimes when I speak about the incoming president, things like that. But I know, because I have the gift of being able to see through the nonsense, to where he's nothing but a liar, a cheat, and he uses those manipulative words and skills that he's learned to influence the people around him into believing what he says is truth. For example, this tariff stuff that he's planning to put into effect, and talking about it'll get the U.S. out of debt. For one, the U.S. is in almost $37 trillion worth of debt. 37 trillion, y'all. In which I did a little research, and in which the most those tariffs will be able to bring into this country is $3.3 trillion. And that $3.3 trillion would take 9 years in order to obtain. So if you do the math on 3.3 or 37 trillion divided by 3.3, and then multiply that by 9 years, that's almost 100 years it would take for this debt to be at an even point, or for there to be no more debt, I should say, in this country. And you got to think about it. If you're paying it down, you can't add to it either. But of course, we all know that it's impossible for the most part for anybody, myself you guys not to add on to the debt that you already have. We are forever in debt as a people, no matter what we do, no matter how much money we make, no matter how much money we spend towards paying off our debts. We are forever in debt. You buy a house, you pay it off, you still got to keep your lights on. You still got to keep the gas on. You still got to pay your taxes. You buy your car, you pay that car off, you still got to pay your insurance on your car. You still got to maintain your car. You got to put gas in your car. We are forever in debt to anything for the most part that we obtain in this life. So for anybody to think that you're going to ever completely be debt free is an impossible way of thinking. And that's why the word Jesus said, the prayer that he wanted his followers, the apostles or what have you that followed him to pray. And part of that prayer was to forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors, because Jesus knew that we would forever be in debt, no matter what we do or no matter how hard we try to get out of this debt. We're forever in debt. And I just don't want to give you bits and pieces of the prayer. The prayer goes, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. And that's a strong prayer. And a lot of people probably turn away, in which I don't get a lot of views to begin with. But a lot of people probably turn away when I start to say that prayer. But it's powerful, y'all. And don't get me wrong. I understand a lot of this stuff sounds repetitive to a lot of us. We all want to say that we need to be focused more on what's going on in the now. You know, meaning our debts and these wars that's looming and everything else that we got going on around us. But the word applies to all of this stuff, in which I'm not a Bible specialist or whatever have you, where I can tell you the verse, the page, the chapter, and all this other stuff. I'm not that deep in the word, but I know the word. When I hear the word, I know the word. You see what I'm saying? And I made a lot of changes in life. And y'all, it's about getting closer to Jesus right now. Because personally, I feel deep down that we are headed closer and closer to the end times, in which it makes sense. Every day we get a little bit older. And even if it ain't the end times in the sense of Jesus coming back in the clouds, we don't know when our last day on earth may be. And so we need to ask for forgiveness and make a change for the better today. And not say that, well, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week, because you might not live to see tomorrow. You might not live to next week. With everything that's going on around us, y'all, it's just getting worse and worse. We don't know when they may decide to shoot a nuclear bomb off and take out half of the Earth's population. Because we are in that much of an intense situation to where it could happen any day. Yeah, the news ain't telling you this. The newspapers ain't telling us this. But if we just look at the facts, y'all, look at everything that's going on around us, we have to use common sense to see that we are closer to a nuclear war than we've ever been for the most part. We truly are. And so it's time to start waking up and looking at everything around us and not expecting certain sources to give us all of the information, because they're not going to do it. They want to keep us in the dark to a certain extent so that they can control us. And so everybody walking around all happy or whatever it may be, enjoying life, not realizing in the background we are preparing for a war in this country, which is nothing new. Like I say, you know, as long as I've been on this earth, it's always been something with the Middle East. But we have to understand that that's a war that will not ever end until the end times, until Jesus comes back. Because as much as we don't want to believe it, a lot of that land over there is truly the beginning as far as with Jesus' birth, and a lot of these saints and things, they come from that part of the country, or that part of the continents. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that, you know, it didn't begin in the United States, even though we may be one of the most powerful countries there is. No, it started over in the Middle East, over in Africa is where these things started at. You know, it was truly the beginning of time on that side of the world, on that side of the earth, or whatever have you. Not here. You know, we're like the remnants of everything. You know, we like the new country when you come over to the United States. But back to what I initially got on here for is with Jimmy Carter and Trump. Look at these two men, y'all. They're like polar opposites. You got one man that decided to downsize the car he rode in to save money. His suits and stuff that man wore probably came from Sears and J.C. Penney, y'all. Being real. Did any and everything in his power to help the poor, the people that didn't have much, going over to other countries and helping to fight diseases. And then on this end, you have Trump. This man probably wear $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 suits. He probably got a Rolex on his arm that could retire many of us from having to ever work again. He only truly cares about the people that have money. It ain't about the people that don't have any money, even though he tried to make it out to seem like that's the case. Look who he rubbed shoulders with. The guy that owns Tesla, in which I believe that he's a narcissist. You get what I'm saying? That he's in the background playing Trump like a puppet, in which these leaders like that, so to speak, because they really ain't leaders. They're not real leaders. But these people that get in a position of power like that, he's getting information from people like Putin. Not necessarily Kim Jong-un, because over there, his reign, it was through his family, you know. But Putin got into position over there through power, through money, and through just basically deboing. You get what I'm saying? Having people knocked off. And Trump took that as an example. He said, man, look, you got to get the most richest people in your country to back you. If you want to get in the office and you want to hold that position and not ever relinquish that position. And what you think he did? He got Elon Musk, who was one of the most richest people, not just in the U.S., but in all of the world, on his right hand side, on his left hand side, whatever side he on, but he on his side. You see what I'm saying? Because he know if I got somebody like this, it's gonna be harder and harder. And then I got all these people that I have brainwashed to believe in the nonsense that I'm feeding them. It's gonna be hard to take me down. And that's his whole thought pattern. But like I say, he's the polar opposite of the man that we have just recently lost. And God shows us things through the small situations to where a lot of people don't even recognize that. You get what I'm saying? But we lost him. And now look who's going in the office. You get what I'm saying? But I only say all this because we have to look at the signs, y'all. Jesus said it himself. Watch for the signs. You know, it ain't always going to be something as big as an atomic bomb explosion that's a sign. It's going to be some small things that we got to put one and one together in order for things to add up. And It's gonna be a long road, y'all. It truly is. In which another one of Trump's false signs. Oh, the stock market. We knew that he was gonna be president, the stock market shot up through the roof, and it's hitting the highs of highs. But now look at things. It's literally went into a winter, a stock market winter. Things have just started to plummet as well, because we know as fast as they shoot up, they come down just as fast and just as hard. You see what I'm saying? But it's these false signs and these false feelings that people are taking and running with it. And then when the truth comes out, they don't even say nothing about it. They don't even touch the basis of it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all about trying to keep his image and keep their image in a certain place so that they don't look foolish. But like I say, man, people don't keep listening to what these people are feeding you. It ain't just fake media. We have a fake, false president going into office who was a part of the chump that's locked up in New York. They was buddy. The one that's gonna be going down soon with the dreads from New York. Only like calling their names because they don't deserve that on my platform. But they all are coming down. And it's just a matter of time before we see the full destruction of what false prophets have built. Because that's what it's all about. It's just about making money by false means. I mean, these people have become billionaires off of fake ventures, making a CD. And which, don't get me wrong, we've all been involved in something, but it's about change. But making music, which is misleading people in order to become rich. I mean, where in that do you see any type of integrity? None whatsoever. There's nothing there. Oh, well, it make me feel good and it make me want to dance. Well, that's what they want you to do. Get a false sense of security when you listen to the music, and then when the music go off, you're back into your state of depression. You're back wanting to get higher. You're back wanting to drink more liquor so that you can get that feeling again. And when you like people tell you, the first time is always the best time. Because anytime after that, you're trying to seek that same feeling that you will no longer be able to have. And so you indulge more and more and more, and you're killing yourself slowly. Alcohol, drinking high levels of alcohol, y'all, think about it. When you cut your arm, you use alcohol, to kill off any bacteria. And you taking high, amounts of that into your system. That's killing yourself. The smoking, I done it all. So I'm not saying this from a perspective of somebody that ain't ever done none of this. But even the smoking, I would do it because of stress, or I'm feeling depressed, or whatever it is. And then the more and more you do, the more and more I did it, the less of a high I got. So I had to go and get more and do it more and do it more, to the point where I'm truly just killing myself. Just tearing my lungs up, tearing my throat up, and just killing myself, y'all. And that's what we doing to ourselves. And we letting these fake leaders and fake images of people we're letting them be our guide to how we should live our life. Because as soon as you jump on YouTube or you're watching something, you see one of your favorite actors or one of your favorite rappers or whatever you want to call them, lighting up a cigar, smoking a cigarette, got a glass or something in front of them, and you right back getting those being tempted to go back to doing things that truly ain't good for you. Because the more and more you start to drink, then the less and less you want to get up in the morning to go to work and feed your family or feed yourself. That's why you have so much homelessness, because they had lost their way. The alcohol overtook their whole being to the point where they could not function anymore. How many people and how many times have we seen stuff like this happen? Because it does. And we need to wake up, y'all. And it's easier said than done to break those chains of addiction. It's hard, but it can be done. And you don't take no going and paying $100 an hour to some type of specialist or counselor in order to do it. Because I didn't do it. And I still struggle day to day sometimes with wanting and not wanting and to go back and do certain things. But at the same time, when I think about it, or I even smell the smoke, it just gives me more of a reason not to want to go back and do it. Because I can't even stand the smell of cigarette and marijuana smoke no more. But it was because one night I got fed up, y'all. I got tired of being in the situations that I was in. And I fell to my knees. And that's what we have to learn, that we have to give up all of our pride, all of that stubbornness, and fall to our knees and ask God and ask Jesus to be that relay between us on earth and his Father that's in heaven, and pass that word along for us and say, Jesus, please help me. Please help me. I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm not saying you got to go to church every Sunday. I'm not saying that you have to read your Bible every day or every other day or every 2 or 3 days. It's just about just giving yourself over to Jesus and over to God. And I kid you not, y'all, it makes that much of a difference. It truly does. But you have to mean it. And you have to want to change. But I'm saying all this because we are headed in the times that are truly uncertain. At this point in time, I don't think, and especially in my lifetime, that there's been so much uncertainty going into the year with the new president, with all of the economic issues that people are facing. You get what I'm saying? They want to go up on Georgia Power. They want to go up on your water bill. They want to go up on everything in which people like you and I, we work hard every day, and we could barely afford to keep our family above water prior to them wanting to go up on everything. And they still want to do it. They built this nuclear power plant down here in Georgia for Georgia Power. And personally, I thought it was supposed to lower the prices of things when it came down to our natural gas and electricity and whatever else we need Georgia Power for. Why on earth are we paying more and more every year? Why are we the ones that's building this nuclear power plant for Georgia Power and it's not helping us in any form or fashion? Well, it's better for the environment. But if you don't have people that can afford to keep their lights on, to keep their heat on, who gives a hoot about the environment? You see, we got our focus in all the wrong areas. We care more about lions, tigers, and bears than we do people. We care more about the so-called climate change and keeping the environment safe than we do about people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying go out there and just start pumping poisonous gases into the air. I'm not saying go out there and dump oil and gas into the water. That's just pure ignorance. But it still has to be a line drawn between healing the environment, which we will not be able to do. That's only in God's hand to be able to heal the environment. But one thing that we can do as a people is help one another. God did give us that power. And how can we help one another is by not taking from one another. You know, I worked in the car industry for almost 10 years. And I had to get out of it. It was stressful. It was taking a toll on my health. I didn't get to spend nearly as much time with my family as I do now and as I wanted to do. But in that industry, y'all, it was, you know what, we're going to go up on the prices of X, Y, and Z because they ain't got no choice. They need us. We the professionals. If we take something that was $50 and make it into $120, they gonna pay it because they need us. And that's the messed up mentality that's out here in this economic society that's destroying this society. I don't give a darn about the rich getting richer, because as we can see, the rich are falling and they're going to continue to fall. And my thing is, you can have $20 million, but if everything continues to go up, your $20 million ain't going to be worth $20 million at the rate of the increase of things. So yeah, you may have a whole heck of a lot more than me and many others, but it's going to dwindle just like our little $100 or $200 that we may have. It's time to wake up, y'all. And these false prophets out here, these churches ain't doing nothing but taking advantage of people. It's ridiculous, y'all. It truly is. And it's just time for us to come closer to Jesus and to God ourselves. Get to know Jesus for yourself. You shouldn't have to always run to somebody else in order to get the word. It's nothing wrong with getting the word, because I listen to other people. It's not many, maybe one or two, to be honest with you, that preach the word of God, and I listen to them because I know that it's genuine. You see what I'm saying? But I still know him for myself. And that's what we need to find within ourselves, and get closer to Jesus ourselves. And I don't know how you're going to do it or what you need to do other than, like I said, just give it all up. Humble yourself. Fall on your knees when you're all alone. You don't do it to please man. Jesus even said, we don't do this to please man. You do it for your own soul. You know, but like I was saying, we are headed into a lot of uncertainty, and it's time for us to start building that relationship. You know, it's a lot of evil out here, a whole lot of evil. And it's worse now because of all of the different platforms and all of the ways it's easier for it to be passed along, is what I'm saying. Like when we were growing up, yeah, it was evil back in the days, but we didn't have social media. I couldn't sit here and make a video and post a whole 30-minute video of me going on about how we need to do things. We couldn't do that back in the days, which might have been a good thing, because I may not be here today, and a lot of other people may not have made it as far as they have if we had the same technology that's at our grasp now then. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, I lost a friend from the projects. You know, he wasn't, but I think the mom wasn't, but maybe 13, 14, 15 years old or something like that. He was a teenager. So what I'm saying is, people were dying at a young age then. You know, my friends, my brother, you know, being in the same house, going to, what was the name of that? It was a juvenile detention center over there off of Moreland Avenue for the most part. I remember visiting my brother. He 12, 13 years old in juvenile. I had buddies 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, y'all. I kid you not, going to juvenile, going to what they called boot camps back then, where they would take these children, send them off. It was like a youth prison, basically, for 2 and 3 years, sometimes, you know, maybe 1 year, whatever it was. And they come back from doing push-ups and running every morning, bigger than what they was when they left the streets. But I only say this, y'all, it ain't that it's bad now as far as the people. People have always had issues. It's the technology that's spreading it and making it a lot worse. And so now people can track you or see where you're at because you on live, and you going to people's hood on live, and they see you in their hood. Now they shooting out the window at you. That's what making it seem like it's worse. No, it's technology, that beast. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm using it, but I pray to God that I don't lose my soul for using it. But I do deep down feel like a lot of this stuff is the work of the beast, and it's being done to kill us off. a little bit faster than what may have been going on back in the days. You get what I'm saying? Because, you know, I come up in the crack era, so there's a lot of drug dealing going on, and I saw a lot of that, and so that was a lot of our influences to where we wanted to sell drugs. We wanted to ride in the, you know, the SS Monte Carlo. We wanted the Caprices. We wanted X, Y, and Z. But when you get to a certain age and you realize that all of that was nothing but vain thinking, because them cars ain't going to get you into heaven. Yeah, they look cool for now, but you look out the window, I guarantee a lot of these folks got all these cars, and they look out the window and they look at it like, man, that ain't nothing but a car to me. Because that's all it is anyway. Even if you did spend 1.5 million for it, or some crazy, outrageous number that you spent for a car, a watch, and some shoes, to where that you literally could have helped hundreds of people with the watch that you got on your arm. You could have helped thousands of people with the car that you have in your driveway. But it's that selfishness that people have. And people are quick to say, well, if I can do it, you can do it. Yeah, but everybody don't want to sell their soul in order to do it. And with that selfishness that you have, you're going to continue down that rat hole of losing your soul because you refuse to let go of all the riches that you have acquired over your lifespan. You refuse to truly help people. Yeah, you may help 2 and 3 people and make it look like you're doing something and ain't really doing nothing. You know, I was watching that comedian that that got sick, and he was out at Grady downtown. You understand? And he said something that made me stop watching the show altogether. So I didn't even finish the show. He said he died and it was a dark place or something he was saying. And he started saying it was hot. It was hot. What is he telling y'all? And I guarantee you, 99% of the people that heard that continued to watch that show after he said that because they think it's funny and it's just jokes and giggles. The dude literally was telling you that he went to hell and that he was literally burning, and people still laughing and running with that. And I'm not saying that he can't make a change, but you and I know. I ain't hear him say, well, glory be to Jesus. You know, they quick to say God, thank God, I love God. But what did Jesus tell us? That Satan is even the god of this world. It's time to wake up, y'all, and we got to start seeing the difference between truth and lies. But hey, I love y'all, man, and y'all take it easy out there. It's your man Cam. A lot of people know me as Jason. You know what I'm saying? But I love y'all, man, and y'all take it easy. And I just hope that you can just work at it. You're not going to completely change overnight. It takes time for you to truly heal. When you cut yourself, you just don't go from being bleeding to healed within a day's time. It takes time for that cut to heal, y'all. So it just takes time for you to get over all of the sin that you may have been entrapped in, but you can and you are able to do it if that's what's in your heart, because some people don't have it in them to change, and it's sad. But like Satan had his demons, and just like Jesus and God have their angels, some people are just meant to go to certain places, no matter what. Because some of them ain't going to change. And that's what I mean by no matter what, because they're not going to change. But the ones that change and are truly sincere, I do believe deep down inside that you can receive the promise in that kingdom of heaven if you can truly change and truly mean it when you're doing these things. But y'all take it easy. Like I said, and I love y'all. I'm gone.